Are you in need of FIFA 22 coins to improve your squad? Look no further than u7buy.com, offering some of the cheapest coins on the market whilst being one of the safest and the most reliable websites around in the market today. Make sure as well, if you do go to the website, you use code VIPER at checkout to get yourself a discount. Let's get into the video. What's going on, guys? Viper here and welcome back to another video on the channel. We haven't done one of these for a while, so I hope you guys do enjoy it. I have been teetering my tactics quite a lot, and obviously today's video is a custom tactics video. And these are the ones that are working best for me right now. A few things to talk about straight away is Roy Keane is in there. Scholes was actually playing in there, Pim Scholes. So Roy Keane is literally just a placeholder. But these tactics have been working really well for me. I got rank 1 last week. We went 19-1 and we absolutely breezed through it on a Saturday. Usually, if you want to get through your games easy, you go to a Sunday. These tactics are absolutely brilliant though. A few things to note before we actually get into the tactics as well. First of all, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like on it, so I know you guys want to see more custom tactics that suit you. But right now, these are my baby tactics. These are the ones that if I really need to get a win, I'll switch to. And there are a few things that we need to talk about, as I said, before we actually get into the tactics. So, first of all, Perisic is in this team. And if you can get somebody like Perisic, I don't think there's too many players like this on the game, that are very capable going forward, but can do some defensive duties like Perisic can. He's probably the best in the game at it. He actually plays as a right centre mid for me, and we'll get into why and how he works there in a moment. Zakaria as well. If you still have this card in your club, I highly recommend you fit him into your team. And if you've got someone like Jorginho who can pop into the midfield in-game and put Zakaria at centre-back, highly recommend you do it. Zakaria is the best centre-back I've used on this game this year. He's better than Varane, better than Ramos, better than Maldini. Absolutely brilliant. With that being said though, guys, this is the team. Let's actually get into the tactics. So, for 1-2-1-2 narrow, press after possession loss. Now, obviously, what this does is it's very aggressive. It's essentially the gegenpress if you watch proper football. Kind of what Liverpool do, or what Ralph Rangnick tried to get United doing. Didn't really work too well, and we're not very good at it. United aren't anyway. But it's a gegenpress. So, as soon as you lose the ball, what's going to happen is your team is going to press like crazy for 7 seconds. If they don't get the ball back in that time, you're very susceptible to a counter-attack, which obviously is something you don't want to do. So you have to trust yourself very heavily with this tactic. Now, you can use pressure on heavy touch. It's not as aggressive. So you've got a bit more cover and solidity defensively, which is nice. But for me, when I've got such fast centre-backs and I trust myself defensively, I allow myself to play on this. And there's another thing that we'll get into in the instructions that will allow you to play this with a bit more confidence. If you're not as confident as me, for example, that will allow you to trust yourself just a little bit more. Now, 50 width, pretty bog standard on a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Whilst it is very compact and it's very through the middle and very direct, you don't want to allow yourself to go really compact here. Because if you do that, you play against a 4-2-3-1, you play against a 4-2-2 even though a 4-2-2 is quite direct still, you'll get done down the wing. So that's something you don't want. You want your fullbacks to be able to cover the wide options that your opponent has. That is why we leave that on 50. Now, 60 depth is a bit of a preference, but if you've got fast centre-backs again, which you probably will do, this is going to work really well for you. The higher the depth, the more aggressive you are. You know, you can play the offside traps better. You can play the opposition offside a lot more. And with how OP the over-the-top through balls are, offside trapping and just generally holding the high line, I find to be quite important. Maybe you guys disagree with that. Maybe you would rather drop back and sit in a bit more of the defensive shape, but I like having a high line so I can really play the opposition offside, and with the fast centre-backs it's quite easy to do that as they're able to move quite quickly to the offside position. That is up to you though. If you want to drop it a bit lower, you can. Now, build-up play, I've tried a few of these. You know, I do like fast build-up on the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but the way we're playing, if you play this, you will just get done on the break constantly. Now, it is really good, especially if you're chasing a game, but if you do play this, you will get hit on the break, and you really are susceptible to counter-attacks and conceding goals quite a lot. So I wouldn't recommend playing this. Long ball's quite good if you like doing the over-the-top. It's probably not the best for a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but it is quite direct, so maybe it will work for you. I don't mind long ball either. Balance is just the best of everything, though, in my opinion. You know, you get the opportunities to play the fast build-up. When that does happen, you know, you'll be on the counter-attack really hard, and you'll be breaking on the opposition really nicely. And, you know, it gives you the opportunities to play the over-the-tops. And obviously slow build up, that kind of depends on you. You know, if you play slow build up, that's up to you. There's no point actually putting that tactic on, in my opinion. Then this is where it gets really important. Now for me, I used to love direct passing before they nerfed the R1 X passes. Now I really like forward runs, because what that actually somewhat allows you to do as well is once you turn over the ball, you know, maybe you're getting, once again, we're talking about counter-attacks quite a lot because this game is so heavy on counter-attacks. As soon as you turn over the ball and you're on your midfielder or something, or you play the ball into your midfielder, your players will be making them runs in behind on the shoulder, which means you get lots of opportunities for them over the tops and just general through balls. That is why I like this. It's very, very good. It's very proactive in the final third, which I find to be really nice as well. Lots of runs getting made, lots of creative opportunities here, lots of, you know, players will be making runs in behind, players will be constantly running for you, and you'll have lots of opportunities. Not everybody likes the forward runs, and if you don't, you can try direct passing, and that does work quite well in the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, but due to the fact they did nerf the R1Xs, I found it to be a little worse nowadays. But, you know, give it a go. But forward runs is personally my favourite chance creation now by a country mile. Moving on to the width. Now, for attacking, this is where I think having the width low is really good. You don't want it at the back because, obviously, as I said, you don't want to allow yourself to get done down the wings constantly. When you're playing a formation like this, it's going to be compact regardless. So you might as well stay down the middle. And that is why I dropped the width right down. Now, I've played it on, you know, I've tried this on a high width in the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, like 65. Just doesn't work. I actually do like playing higher width on the 4-2-3-1 and the more wide formations. But definitely in this formation, staying compact and having that on your width there as well will allow you to have lots of opportunities through the middle. And that is what this formation is all about. It's direct, very, very direct. There's no real wing play. So you really do have to go through the middle. And what's the point in having it higher than this, you know? If you want to try it at 25 or something like that, you can do. But I personally like it at 15. Moving on to players in the box. Now, this is something as well that kind of plays into what we were talking about with the fast build-up. This kind of is like fast build-up in a certain way. You'll have so many players in the box when you get to the cutback areas that I find this to be a really good tactic. Even, you know, and you can do crosses as well. There's lots of opportunities here for you to score goals. There'll be so many players waiting in the box for you that I find this to be really effective too. From corners as well, players will actually drop into the box after the fact you've taken a corner, which is really, really nice as well. And I do really like high players in the box on this game. I wouldn't go below 6 personally, regardless of what you're playing. I'd make sure you have this somewhat high this year, as cutbacks are really overpowered. Corners and free kicks, always have this on 1. You don't want to get hit on the break from a corner or a free kick. So just make sure you have this nice and low at 1. If you put it on 2, it will get a bit awkward. As you can see here, the kind of thing that we do is we negate the having the people in the box for the corner, but then the players in the box will arrive after the fact that you've taken the corner and have lots of opportunities to play a cutback from a corner. I also go for the finesse shots from corners. If you want to see a video on that, let me know. Now, moving on to the instructions. Now, as we do move into the instructions, there's a few things that I've changed in comparison to my last 4-1-2-1-2 tactic videos. Now, I wasn't necessarily always a fan of playing... Hold on a second. I don't know why Keane's up there. He should be down there. I used to play no stay centrals. I used to play no getting behinds on my strikers. But now, because of the over-the-top balls and how effective they are, and I can't stress that enough, they are so effective, getting behind on your pacier striker, so in this instance we've got Mbappe, is really effective because you have the opportunities to play the over-the-top balls to him as he's making them runs in behind almost all of the time. Then you've got Ronaldo, here's our more focal point. We've got him on stay central and stay forward. Now, Ronaldo's obviously a better finisher than Mbappe. Ronaldo is definitely more of a focal point. Not saying that Mbappe can't kind of play that target man role. He's not that weak, so he is able to play it. But Ronaldo is a lot better at it. So what he's there to do is, you know, he's there to hold up the ball, win the headers, and if he can spin in behind, we'll allow him to spin in behind, but he's more of a link-up player, somewhat to Mbappe. Mbappe gets a lot more of the goals nowadays. But obviously, Ronaldo is ice cold as well, so he's able to get involved, and that is why he's not on getting behind. But stay central is actually very important, I think, now. I never actually used to play this, but you might as well have them on stay central in a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, you know. There's no point in them actually, you know, going wide at all. So make sure you have both of your strikers on stay central at the very least here. I do recommend stay forward also on both of your strikers in this formation. Moving into the cam now, he is just on stay forward. He is the creative mind. You know, Jadon Sancho here He's the one that creates all the opportunities. He's really, really good at that. Having somebody that's got 5-star here is quite important. If you can get that there, it's very, very good and very effective. Now, Jorginho, who is our more box-to-box, is on just balanced everything. Now, the reason for that, he's actually on cover centre, to be fair. You could put him on cover wing, but I found out that cover centre in this formation, the way the fullbacks play for us, is really good. And Jorginho is, you know, the box-to-box that's able to pass anywhere he wants all the time. Then what we do with our right centre mid, in this instance it's Perisic, get forward. Now, get forward on this is quite aggressive and it is quite risky, but I feel like with Perisic, who is so good going forward and really linking up the play in a different kind of way from that kind of position, I think it's important to have somebody like him here. There's not too many examples I can think of that are like Perisic, but having somebody that's, you know, he's tall, he's got 5-star weak foot, he's 4-star skills, he's got okay defending, and he's got a good body type, and he's really good going forward and has decent passing. Really, really good to have something like this in your team if you can get to it. Not everybody is going to be able to do this, but if you do have Perisic or you have somebody that's, you know, maybe like a Kroos or something can still do it, but you more so want somebody that's got serious pace, decent defending, and can really go forward and create threats. That is what Perisic is there for. He gets involved in a lot of the goals in this formation. He's one of the most crucial players in the team, in my opinion. Now, obviously with the CDM, he's just on stay back, cover centre. This was Jorginho in the weekend league for me, and he's very good at doing that as well, you know. Having somebody here that can, not Roy Keane basically, somebody who can really dictate the play, aggressive, strong, fast, and really play the ball out and be your kind of, you know, your Busquets-esque player. But obviously on FIFA you need somebody that's very quick and aggressive as well. So make sure you get like a Zakaria, you get a Musa Sissoko Fantasy. All of them kind of cards work really well here. Now the last thing to talk about, and the most important thing to talk about, is the fullbacks. Now, I've got them both on stay back while attacking here. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know I'm a big advocate of fullbacks going forward in this formation. Because they're on stay back, and obviously they're on overlap as well, which is important, you want them to overlap because you don't want them to come inside at all. You want them fully wide, as they are your only width in this formation at all. So make sure you do have them on overlap also. They are on stay back though, and what I do in game is if I'm in control of a game, but I'm struggling to score, what I'll do is I'll press up on the D-pad and then left on the D-pad. What that will do is it will put them on to attacking fullbacks, so it completely negates the fact that they're on stay back while attacking, which is a really nice thing to be able to do in game. Now, the reason they're on stay back by default is if I'm in a really tough game, then I want them to stay back and I want to really feel out the game and, you know, trust the defensive line to be there all the time and really rely on our two strikers and Cam to score the goals. So it's really important that you start off with them like this. Make sure you have very good attacking fullbacks so at the same time, as we do here with Hakimi and Di Lorenzo. What this will do, just allow you to change up your game plan drastically, because once you have these going forward, it is so hard with these tactics to stop you attacking. It's you've got so many options, so many bodies. With the press after possession loss as well, that gegenpress once you lose the ball is insane and so hard to deal with once you've got these two in the attacking areas also. So make sure you're very careful with this. Make sure you test this out. And as I said, if you're in control of games, put them onto attacking fullbacks. If you're not though, keep them on stay back and you'll have a solid defensive line. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel as well if you're not already. More player reviews coming soon, of course, and more tactics if you do enjoy this video. But guys, that's going to be it from me for now, so take care.